You.
Hello and welcome to the Social Recruiting Show. I'm Katrina Collier. I'm a social recruiting trainer and speaker. I'm of course joined by my gorgeous co-host, the fabulous Audra Knight, who's an employer branding genius, nerd. I don't know. What am I calling you this week? Great bass player, which most people don't know. Also plays ice hockey and has fabulous purple hair. Today, we are talking about getting real with candidate experience because we think it's overdue with Angie Verros, who has a really long surname that you can say. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here.
Angie.
So how do we say the surname?
Yeah.
Angelopoulos.
Oh, that's not so hard.
That's not hard. Angelopoulos.
Yeah.
Easy.
So I got to meet you, Angie, last week at HR Tech World, which was a cool event.
Yeah.
But for anyone that maybe hasn't met you before, can you give them a little rundown of your career and what you're doing with Via Talent?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I fell into recruiting just like I think everybody does. About 13 years ago, I started my life out of college as a stockbroker. And September 11th hit and I wasn't able to find a job. So I went to my recruiter who said to me, why don't you just become a recruiter? And I thought, well, what the hell do recruiters do? She's like, you just have to
Good
find,
question.
right? What do we do? And she just said, why don't you just do this? And so I ended up becoming a recruiter. I actually, I cried for 6 months. I hated my job. It was an agency. It was old school. Like picture The Office, right? Or actually picture, what was that one show? I mean, just really, really old school. And they gave me a manual that was like 11 by 17, like a legal binding book that opened just not even like a normal book.
Wow.
And they said to me, well, here's how you should recruit. Here you go. And Yellow Pages. They gave me Yellow Pages and a phone and they said, recruit. So I cried, but I cold called. That's all I knew how to do from being a broker. So I got on the phone and I called people and I made my first placement, I think 3 months into working for the agency. It was okay. I mean, I thought I was a little competitive. I wish I would have done it sooner. And then I was supposed to go out and find clients and I didn't want to do that. I was good at finding the people. And then the recruiters that had been there for, 50 years had the clients. So that's when I really just dove into sourcing and trying to go out and get the talent. Anyway, fast forward. So I left agency. I went into a couple of different corporate roles. I worked for consulting firms. And then I did RPO. And then I just thought, well, why can't I just do this by myself, and be my own boss and not have to worry about anything else. And so 7 years ago, I created Via Talent and just recently decided to put together a website and get some business cards. And yeah,
She's come out.
I've come out. I've officially, Audra,
you're going to have swag. You're going to have swag next. You'll have men with your thing on it. You'll be pitching them at audiences. Maybe not down your cleavage.
Maybe.
Really going to sort that out.
Yes. Yes. I'll have little Via men.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I can pitch those out as well. It can all be done.
No problem. Let's do it together.
Yeah. I love that idea.
So that's
different color though.
Yes, different color. Yes. Although, orange is my favorite color, but my colors are blue and orange, but we could use blue.
Cool.
We'll use blue.
Yeah, use the blue. We can.
Yeah.
It's all good. So what's the aim of your company?
So
what are you planning?
My biggest thing is I really love to solve that problem of finding talent. I think we're in a very competitive environment, obviously. And the biggest need, aside from all the fun stuff, right? Like employer branding and, just process within recruiting. I think that the biggest need is let's fill these jobs. So what I do is I try to get a team of people on a project and help companies fill their positions as soon as possible. So not the contingency model, project-based. And it works. It's like a mini RPO type model. We help fill jobs when companies are in a crunch.
I love that idea. And I think I do think you need it now because it's like we said, compared to the Yellow Pages, people are now online. Gosh, you can find it. It's fine. Yeah. But actually, if you're coming at it from the in-house, I do think you have the upper hand. So by doing that, rather than being contingent, being in-house as a project team, I think you'll get better results always.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, like just having all that type of experience, being in all different, you know, agency, RPO, corporate, consulting, I mean, that definitely helps, because then when you talk to clients and potential clients and they know that you've had that kind of exposure and you've actually worked in that type of an environment, it really helps. I mean, it was lucky for me that the recruiter who recruited me to become a recruiter, gosh, can I say that word one more time? She was a legal recruiter who worked for a financial services company. And she literally would get like this little legal book and flip through pages and then fax resumes. The fact that I actually came out of financial services and I knew what, you know, a back office operations person was easy for me to find those folks. So that relevance, I think, was very important.
Yeah, absolutely. You knew where they're
I'm writing facetious comment down the side here.
Who's commenting?
It's an explanation of what a fax is. I am, just in case someone there doesn't know.
Yes. You know what a fax, does anybody, who does not know what a fax machine is?
I probably just misspelled it. Is it FAX or FACS? I can't remember.
No, it's FAX.
Yeah,
I mean, do they exist anymore? Do fax machines?
Honestly, I had to fill out a new supplier agreement yesterday and said, what's your fax number? And I was like, yeah, let's just leave that box. Like, really?
Still use
2017.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I mean, I subscribed to like an online fax service once where you can just fax online. And like, why just not use email?
Yeah, no, I think it was for the remittances. I'm sure it's just an old form and nobody's gone through and deleted off the fax number. Like, we don't need to ask for this. Oh, seriously, I was crying laughing. It comes up a lot.
Yeah. And then if you want to go back a little more old school, if you have to do anything with Greece, they want mail, right? They want mail. Like, oh, just send it via postal. For real?
Snail mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very different when I spoke there earlier in the year. It's a different vibe.
I remember I saw your posts about that, and that was pretty awesome.
It was amazing. Really. I mean, one, it was a cool venue. And the people were very, very receptive to social recruiting, which was really cool. But I think the day before, we just sat in the sun all day drinking beer was the best. But
oh, yeah.
I know.
Well, I'll be there. I'll be there in August. Let's go.
I know. You keep telling me. I need to jump on a plane.
Okay. Is that far from you? I can pick you up on the way there.
Yeah. Pop in. We'll just make Audra jealous. Like all your photos off the bloody boat did.
I'll grab Audra on my way to London, and then we'll grab you, and then we'll just head over to the Greek islands.
Done. Good.
Perfect. We'll just do some recruiting out there.
So you wanted to get real with candidate experience. Why did we pick that topic? What's bugging you about it that made you want to get real?
You know what? I'm a big fan. I think that candidate experience is important, right? If you're going to treat your candidates good, you're going to get better results. So I think that, you know, we forget the basics. I think when it comes to recruiting, right, there's so much noise when it comes to tools and technology. And I mean, Audra, we saw that last week with HR Tech World. And I'm a big fan. I try every tool, any technology that's out there, I will try it out. But at the end of the day, how are you going to engage those candidates, and how are you going to treat them real, right? I might be. Oh, I guess I was boring her.
You were so boring. Where should go? I can't see her. Like,
Audra.
Oh, you.
Sorry, they turned on and it was very loud.
What?
The TV just randomly like unpaused itself, and it was super loud. I didn't want to.
Oh, we couldn't hear it actually.
I didn't hear anything. Yeah. So I think I'm still very old school and I still do sourcing. Like I actively go out there and I recruit people and I get on the phone and I screen them. I mean, that's the part of the job that I still love. I really do enjoy that. And then finding them. What's wrong
with the phone?
No, there's nothing wrong with the phone. I call people. Like I will, if I find a phone number. Yeah.
100% response rate down. So
I mean, it's you know what? Even like do you guys remember the phones with the cords, like the real like landline?
Doesn't, but I do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, the phone, you used to put it on your shoulder and then the cord would hang. I mean, I use that.
But did you ever have the bits of plastic, the like the banana thing that would sort of help you get it to your head?
I never did. I tried it once. I felt like an old lady secretary, so I never used that. Yeah. No, I did get a headset. Like I got a mega headset, but I didn't really care for that. When I worked out like in a cube area, then of course I just had to talk on the phone. But then when I had an office, I just closed my door and put them on speaker because it was just easier for me. But the phone works. You know, I was watching a movie with my kid the other day and she saw a phone. She saw like a real phone. And she said to me, Mom, is that what the phones were like back in the olden days?
Oh my God.
In the olden days. I mean, I'm not that old.
Sorry, incoming.
That's okay.
For some reason. I know, but I think it's, I mean, as you just seen last week, it's mind-blowing how much technology has changed in such a short period. When you just said, you've been doing this for 14 years, when you think about that, such a short period of time, and we've gone from, faxes to emails to internet to it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Have you seen the question?
Do you think with the release of Google for Jobs, I don't know. And I haven't seen Google for Jobs yet. I mean, I've heard so much about it, but I haven't seen it.
So from what I read, I'm having a complete blank as to who wrote. Chris Hoyt wrote the post. It's really good, actually. It looks a little bit like the shopping thing. You know, when you Google something and the shopping will pop up. It looks a lot like that to me. Actually, job boards and companies to improve candidate user experience and how well. To be honest, I think we've had Indeed all this time. So this is, in a way, just a nicer version. It just looks nice and it looks really smart. Because you get like a box of 6, if memory serves.
They have so much. Google has so much data on you that they could really customize. I think.
Yeah. The results. Do you think?
Yeah, and I think from a user experience, right? I think that a lot of companies are trying to make that better. I think where my focus is, I like to from like a real experience, right? So if you give the candidate a good experience from the job post to the application process to all the technical stuff, right? But then when you're having this human piece, like the biggest thing that I have a problem with is when you reject a candidate and then you never tell that person, right? Like the hiring manager tells you, okay, we're going to pass on John Smith because he wasn't the right fit. And then you're like, well, why should I call John and tell him he didn't get the job? Maybe he'll just assume if I don't call him, right? So that piece, I think is so important. I think the reason why I love candidate experience so much, and people will disagree that it doesn't get you hires and whatever. And yes, it's not the bottom line that's going to get you hires, candidate experience, but it makes an impact on a candidate and what they're going to say about you. You know, good experience, bad experience, right?
Yeah,
when I was in college, I worked at Nordstrom, and back then, it was all about customer service, and leaving the employee entrance to go into the store. There was a sign, and the sign said, number 1, the customer is always right. Number 2, if the customer is wrong, go back to rule number 1.
Or number 1.
And so I always grew up with that you have to treat people the way that you want to be treated. Right. So, I mean, I just think it's important that you treat them nice, and then you get a good reputation. Bad news travels faster than good news, and you're not going to hurt anybody by being kind and nice to candidate, not letting them sit and wait in the lobby for 20 minutes before your hiring manager shows up, or, things like that I think are very important.
I think even going back a step as well, where I actually interesting debate went on Facebook about this, but even just that, like if we're talking about Google Jobs, so your job's right at the top, you click it on a phone most likely, and you can't apply. Like it's like even it starts then. Like how easy is making it? And it was funny because I think it was Animal actually shared my blog that says basically if you can't apply, go into the CEO, give them the phone and make them do it. Because I just don't see an easier way of getting the point across. But someone came back and went, oh, I don't think 10 minutes is a long time. And I'm thinking, well, depends what you're recruiting. I just think some people want it really easy that, they're in high demand. They shouldn't have to spend 10 minutes. It's just, how hard is it? Click CV, send. Resume. Sorry.
That's it. Well, that's how it should be. I mean, if you're going to have like a 45-minute application process, who's going to spend the time to do that?
Yeah. And then if they do, and you don't reject them, even without thinking the interview bit through, like they've spent all that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm so sorry. He's just like breathing on me. It's the worst smell ever. Sorry.
Oh, who? This guy? No.
No. So you can see all my mess that's completely hidden from everybody because of my
That's
screen.
okay. You can see my mess behind me.
But Angie, when you talk about word of mouth, like it's even more, absolutely more important now with like Glassdoor and Indeed reviews and all those different sites. Because I mean, they are going to have their say, and that could affect hires right there. If, enough people say that. So.
Absolutely.
And we've always done that, no? We've always bitched about.
Right, but it didn't matter so much.
If we have a good experience.
Now we can bitch to hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some people will believe it and some people won't. Like, I personally don't believe that a Glassdoor review that's perfect is real, right? So you're going to see all of it, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. You're going to see it all on there. But why have so much ugly when it's so easy, right? It's just easy. Yeah. I used to work at a company, and I used to preach to the team about feedback and getting feedback to me about their candidates. And not even that, like showing up for the interviews. I've actually had hiring managers not show up for an interview that was confirmed on their calendar. And then what do I do? Then I have to entertain the candidate while I have to do my job, and then try to cover up for that. Like, that's crazy. I mean, I've had candidates come to me and say, your recruiting process is terrible. What makes me believe that your business process is going to be any different, right? So doing that, that makes a difference.
So when you've had that situation where you've had asshole hiring managers literally not turn up, how have you got around it? I mean, how have you got them on board with the importance?
It's hard to get them all on board. If they're looking to fill their jobs and they've got candidates there qualified, pre-screened that they want, and they don't show up, well, I'm not getting them any more people. You have to stand firm on that.
So you push back and go, enough. Which is what I do. But I'm just curious.
You have to, but when you're working for a company, and it's a give and take, right? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you don't get them any more candidates, then you're not moving forward with the business objective, to get the jobs filled. But then if they're not showing up and you're creating a bad experience for your candidates, and you're still stuck, right? So it's just educating them, at all hands meetings that we had, or just, calling a training session to let them know how simple it is. I think if you create a very simple process with the hiring manager and just and have them be a part of it. There was a company that I worked for that had all of their employees be a part of the recruiting process. And so they felt that they had ownership in that, and that helped a lot. Yeah. So they were the ones that actually screened the candidates, and they were the ones that took them to lunch. And they were the ones. He's gonna eat your little guy.
Not little though.
No. You've got the two-legged variety. I have the four-legged. Oh no. He just wants to sit on my lap, which would be really painful because I'm in shorts and he's got really nasty claws. So it's like, here he goes. Oh my God, sorry. I've now lost my little man.
Don't be sorry.
David's Nicola, I'm pronouncing that correctly, is asking questions down here.
Oh, so
what was the biggest takeaway you had at HR Tech? But then, hang on. All hiring managers who fail to show up at their own scheduled interviews shall receive 10 lashes.
10 lashes.
Bring it on.
Bring it, David.
I think Angie would really enjoy doing that.
Oh, I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about that stuff today. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know if it's nice to say this, but I just want to beat them down sometimes. Like, just all you have to do is show up to your interview, just go or reschedule.
Bubble. Like, we all get into our work bubble. That's why I love doing what I do, because I'm not in a bubble.
Yeah. So I think
that's the problem.
I think, again, it goes back to educating them. If they don't know how important, like, people think that the recruiting function is a non-generating function. So why should we consider that to be an important thing in our business? And that's so wrong, But I think that if you go to, if you take the facts and you show what the value proposition is when it comes to money and numbers, I think it makes a difference. At one point, I was looking for a recruiter to come and help me because I didn't have the bandwidth to work at, for some of these jobs. And it was a consulting firm. So showing the value of not having the resources for the client, then you lose the project. The project could very well be $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million project. So how can you tell me I'm not in a revenue generating environment? If I'm finding you people to generate revenue for the company, I mean, that's still it. So yes, David, lash. for sure.
Yeah, bring it on. Bring it you a whip. New branding.
Yeah.
That's what, if you're not throwing out little men, you're throwing out whips. When you speak.
I can just imagine, right? I can just imagine SourceCon, right? Standing on the stage and being like, all right.
This is for your hiring managers, people. It was interesting as well, too, like taking that a step further. So if you are doing bad candidate experience or your hiring managers aren't turning up, obviously you're not getting quite the right people in. And at the REC event I was at on Wednesday, the cost of a bad hire is 3 times the basic salary. And you're kind of going, well, there's an easy calculation to go, shit, as well. Like another one to throw out. You keep doing these claws when you're wearing shorts. Sorry. You guys totally didn't need to know that, did you?
That's okay.
Where's Blabcat? You're not what you're supposed to be. There's no Blabcat.
He's lonely at home. Poor guy.
We usually have Blabcat because when we used to be on Blab, so bless. We haven't renamed him Crowdcast Cat.
Nope.
I don't have any pets. Well, I do. I have Chip. I have the electronic dog Chip. My daughter has him. And he's a little electronic dog, and you could tell him to do yoga. You can tell him to dance, and he moves for you. Yeah, he's with the little Bluetooth. Yeah, little Bluetooth dog.
Less smelly.
And when I'm
he
lonely,
doesn't smell. What are you talking about? Okay, I lied.
I do have a really awesome story about Canada.
Laura's comment. Laura Hepcar, I love these electronic dogs. They're easy to house train. So true.
Yes, they are. They are. But you know,
my God,
he doesn't listen. Sometimes he doesn't listen. When you tell him to do yoga, he dances. Okay.
Yeah, but I bet it's easy to house train.
It's pretty cool. I don't think he's charged. Otherwise, I'd show him to you guys.
You have over 100 fidget spinners. So I'm not getting this whole fidget spinner thing.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't get it either. Wait, 100, David? What is wrong with you?
No, he's saying you do.
He says you do.
Who? Oh, Angela.
No pets. But
Angela. Wait, no.
This is facts.
No.
True facts.
Oh my God.
So back to his question. What was the biggest takeaway from HR Tech?
Yeah, maybe it's David. Okay, takeaway. I'll tell you my favorite. I don't know if it's going to be, if it's a takeaway, but the most fun that I had at HR Tech World, except for the time that I spent with Audra, because we had an awesome time. I went on a sailboat. Smart Recruiters had a sailboat. Well, we didn't do, we had a few beers.
There was a few, possibly.
There were a few. But we went on a sailboat. Smart Recruiters they were doing sailboat rides, and I signed up for it. And I'm trying not to look at the questions, but
that's right.
It was awesome. Little did I know that like a little catamaran sailboat was going to be like a netted trampoline, and I'd be sitting on that and maneuvering my way throughout for about an hour. I have bruises all over my legs.
Did you get wet?
Yes.
Oh yeah. And then I sat with Audra for like the remainder of the conference in wet jeans. It was not comfortable.
That would have been way smellier than banjo.
It was.
Audra, grab the question. Huh?
Yeah, I can read it.
It was good. It was fun.
A really good event for sure. The one thing I thought was a cool takeaway was, I forget who said it even, but disrupt or be disrupted. So you got to just do stuff, because if you don't, somebody's going to come in and do it, and you'll just be in trouble, like Blockbuster. Yeah, those kinds of.
How did they not see that coming? Like, seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they said, we're doing well. We'll just keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is that?
Yeah, that was a good one. I mean, there were some really great speakers. There were just a lot of great content. I tweeted about it and all that, all that fun stuff. I think another really good one, I think what Gary Vee said, that why he's successful, he just does it and then tells people, right? He doesn't tell people what he's going to do. He just does it. And if it works, it works. And then if it fails, he didn't tell people he was going to do it, and then he failed. And he's been successful at that. And I really like that.
Yeah. So I find that about social recruiting. So when I'm training it and people are like, I couldn't possibly use Facebook. And go, well, why don't you just go do it and see what happens? Mm-hmm. And if you get the results, then you can go, well, I got the results, so what's the problem? Yeah. Whereas there's all this fear. There's so much fear. But
I know. I was at an event yesterday, as a matter of fact, and we were talking about recruiting, sourcing hacks on Facebook and on Twitter. Yeah. And they asked the audience, who uses Facebook for recruiting. I raised my hand, and there were 50 people in the room. I think there were 2 or 3 people who raised their hand, and they said, do you message people on Facebook? And I was the only one that raised my hand. And so he asked me, well, what do you say? And I'm like, I just say in a message, I hope it's okay that I'm reaching out to you via Facebook Messenger. If not, here's my email address. If you don't want to, if you don't want to talk to me, you're not going to accept it. Right. I've never had someone come back and say like, no, you can't contact me here. You are,
as the recipient, you are in such control.
Yeah.
Because you can read it before you accept it. And if your profile looks like a great person to talk to, nobody's going to be bothered.
Which mine naturally does. So everybody wants to talk to me.
But I'm forever saying send them a video, because then they've got how are you going to resist the freeze frame of somebody's face with the play button? And they can see that before they accept.
Yeah.
And it's like, then they hear your voice and you can say so much more in those 30 seconds. I'm like, I don't see what the big deal is.
To them and not just that's videos.
It really goes back to real, right? Like being real.
Yeah.
I think that's, if this is recorded, I'm going to post this on my profile. Then they can see who I am.
Yeah.
With my little
and
friend.
also when you start looking at, this fantastic move that LinkedIn's made, blocking all the Chrome extensions, I get why they've done some of them, but what frustrates me, of course, is they block the ones that allow you to cross map and find out the extra bits of information you can use in that beautifully targeted personal information, messaging. That frustrates me. But I get why they've done it. At the same time, I'm like, it's just dumb. All that's going to happen is we're going to shift.
Yeah.
We're just going to finally go enough. Found somebody, I'll Google their name. Oh, look, they're over there on Facebook. I'll go over there.
Exactly.
There's no point paying to send an email when nobody's using the site.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
They've turned off the email. Yeah. It's like, But so I hope that more and more will use Twitter and Facebook. I think they're amazing.
I think so too. I mean, there's
Instagram. Oh my God, Instagram. Like freaking message everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the one I haven't tried that.
Accounts.
I haven't tried Instagram. I'm not on it very often. I probably should. But then Snapchat. I mean, do you guys do anything on Snapchat? I don't know.
What? We went really buzzy on Snapchat and then went quiet, didn't we? I think because everyone's doing Instagram stories instead.
It was really time consuming. I loved it, but I ended up spending a lot of my day taking clips of videos, and it really made my family too.
Yeah, I have a Snapchat account. I think I have like one friend on there. I don't even know how to use it. So I don't do that. But I do Facebook a lot. I do Facebook a lot.
Tangled on him. Right. I'll send you some stuff when we come offline anyway, so you'll be able to have a gander. But I'm a huge Instagram fan.
Okay, good. Then I have to start doing that too.
Laura Hepka, you are absolutely right. It is
huge. The only thing I know how to do on Snapchat is look at just open my mouth and stick out my tongue and have a rainbow come out of it. Or fire. Or fire.
So actually, speaking of which, where is he? Because I think that and I think of Matt Darren and he's not here. Where is he?
Ooh.
What's happened to Mr. Darren? I haven't seen him for ages. Is he actually working hard?
Poor guy.
Is he?
I looked at his schedule because I needed to set up a meeting with him, and it was just blocked all week.
Wow. Apparently Matt's getting his beard done, according to David.
Oh my God. David, you're so funny. And I owe you a phone call. I'll call you later.
He's just the best.
David's awesome.
Yeah. We should have got him on as well. It'd be all craziness.
Yeah.
There you go.
Come on, David. Throw something at us. We're ready to hear about your
It's all
new
going to
facts.
happen. It's all going to happen. They got all quiet down here.
Yeah, they did. Are we not entertaining?
Some lovely new people who aren't chatting, which is lovely as well.
Oh, we have another question up here. I'll read. What's the one thing candidates want or need most once they're in the hiring process? And then he says, once you get the hiring manager to show up for an interview.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Laura. Yeah. Cool.
Yes. So I think it's important, number one, for them, once they're in the hiring process, to know what that process is, right? So be transparent from the beginning and let them know that, the first step is going to be a phone interview with this person. The next step will be, you'll come into our office. What I used to do for one company, there's two examples I'd love to share. There's one company, software development firm here in Chicago. I would send them a complete list of, this is who we are. This is how we work. Here are a couple links to the, best places to work or blah, blah, blah. Check out these profiles, kind of prep the candidate so that they know what to expect. And then when you are on site, you will be meeting with these folks. They will take you to lunch. Do you have a preference? I mean, just full transparency. And then they would know that if all goes well during this conversation, the offer will go out, within 3 days. Like they had a, process that was just perfect. And I really liked. Candidates appreciated that because they were fully transparent from the very beginning. There were other companies that I worked for where, and mostly on the consulting side, they're like, we like the candidate, but we may want him to come back in again. We may want him to come and meet with the client. We're not sure. And then that process lingered so much. And it was very hard to keep them, entertained, if you will. One guy that we hired was, I recruited him and I kept him in my pipeline for 9 months. 9 months. Luckily, he was okay where he was at. Well, because we didn't have a specific need for him at the time because it was a consulting firm. But the nice thing was that he said to me after the fact that had it not been the way that you communicated with me and kept in touch, like invited him to a happy hour or let's grab lunch or just an email like, hey, want you to know that we didn't forget about you. And then 9 months later, he was hired. Like you have to nurture, the relationship. So I thought that was.
Like when you think about it, so, you go, well, actually you guys probably don't do this so much, but London being all about public transport. But, you turn up and it'll say the tube's arriving in this time or the next bus is at this time. So we always have that clarity in every other area. But for some reason, when it comes to this, we're like, oh, no, we don't need to give any. But people always want to know.
Yeah.
When's delivery happening? You go online, you check out the delivery code. It tells you it's coming out at this time. And if you don't know, you get frustrated.
Exactly. Or the feedback thing, right? Like, hiring managers don't give me feedback. Okay, so you're going to try to get as much feedback as you can from the hiring manager. But if you don't really have much, well, tell the candidate, I don't have much. Just be, transparent. I'll tell them my thoughts, right? Like, I think you sucked at this. I mean, I won't say it like that, right? But tell them that I think next time you need to, whatever. I had someone message me the other day who said, I think I did really bad. And then she stated exactly why she thought she did really bad during the interview. And so I read that to the hiring manager and I said, so this is what she feels. And she goes, yeah, exactly. She sucked, but I didn't tell her that.
Wow.
I just gave her the feedback and said, maybe you need to brush up on your, communications, whatever it was. Yeah. But I do want, one company that's doing an amazing job, I'm going to give a shout out to is Duo Security. And the reason I say Duo is Ambrosia. So I interviewed for a job with Ambrosia like a year and a half ago, and I didn't get the job, which was fine. I wasn't the right person for that job. But I do have to say, the entire interview process, although it was lengthy because they had a lot going on, there were a number of moving parts. Every single person that I interviewed with asked me at the end of the interview, whether it was video, they were mostly video calls, whether this works out or not. Can you tell me so far how your experience has been? Wow. And it was, and I thought it was so amazing that even like their one of their VP of business development that I spoke with asked me that. Their CEO asked me that. He was one of the final conversations.
That's such an awesome question.
It was awesome. He said to me, regardless of whether it's going to work out, tell us what your experience has been so far, right? And I did say, although it's been a little lengthy, but I understand the circumstances with travel schedules and whatever. I mean, the fact that they actually took the time to ask me that, right, to even care, and then I didn't get the job. Well, guess what, ladies? Every time there's a post about Duo, it's liked and retweeted and shared. And I mean, look at the positive news, that I'm sharing from just having an experience. I didn't get the job, but I had a great experience, right? And then there's other places where, I've had a really shitty experience and then maybe took the job. I don't know, but
And then you find out it's like the whole way through and think, what was I
thinking? Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely right, Laura. Good candidate experience equals advocacy.
Yeah. That's amazing, though, even if you didn't get the job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I told Ambrosia when I saw her last week, I'm like, I just think you guys are doing such amazing things. And if they're doing that with every other candidate, I mean, don't get me wrong. People will slip through the cracks. You've got a lot of volume. You've got a lot of stuff going on. But if you can try to be as consistent as possible, a fun fact, I know David's going to say something. I grew up in the restaurant business. My family had restaurants and the same thing goes there, right? The Yelp. I mean, people have a bad experience. They're not going to come back. And consistency, you're going to go to a restaurant and you're hoping that, of course, the service is going to be good. But then the food, right? Like if you're not consistent with your product, then people are going to stop coming to your store, so That's my
So, but
story.
it's like, you know, that we're having with these. You probably remember me freaking out about these because I had them printed. That's the first time I've ever had any swag made. And my logo rubbed straight off. And the guy got them printed and he sent them. He FedExed them to the US. So they arrived at the conference 2 hours before I spoke, all the way from the UK. I wrote him the best review. I'm not sure he's ever seen it, but I went straight on to everywhere that it would be seen, you know, Google Maps, etc.
Yeah.
Dog groomer up the road. I wrote them a 1-star. You know, and all it was that they just were rude. That was it. And it was like,
I don't know, but
it's so easy to be human.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but for me, like, I worry sometimes, like when I go out, like if I'm going to go to grab a cup of coffee, you know, I want a good cup of coffee. Right. Yeah. And sometimes I worry when I get to the place or, you know, and I like little boutique coffee shops. I'm not a big fan of Starbucks or, you know, I like those, but I worry sometimes when I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, are they going to make my coffee okay? Or like, I'm looking forward to going and having dinner with my family at this, you know, at this restaurant. And usually the food's really good, but the last time or two, it wasn't that great. Like, I hate that, right? Like, why should candidates feel that as well? Like, they should feel confident going into things. And, you know, so I don't know, maybe it's just I'm more stubborn as I get older, but like, I like good stuff, you know, just
consistency.
Yeah.
So okay, I know how I do it, but let's find out how you do it. So what about, you know, they have a bad experience. They do take it to Glassdoor, Indeed, Facebook, wherever they write their review. What's your suggestion on tackling it?
So I think on Glassdoor, if someone writes a really bad review and if it's true, right, you have to respond to it and I think be real about it, admit that maybe you did make a mistake and in a nice way, you know. There were times where our volume was pretty high and we did get really bad reviews. And so it was, you know, we thank you for your feedback and for being candid. And although this isn't the normal way that we like to do business, unfortunately, and blah, 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 you give your excuse. But I think acknowledging that you did that, I think goes so much further as opposed to just letting it sit there. You know, some people don't believe in Glassdoor. Some people think that their company has been hijacked by Glassdoor and that they just put all that information on there. But you know what? It doesn't matter. These days, it doesn't matter. Someone can go on Facebook on their own account, tag the company and write, I had a shitty experience here. And then it's public knowledge, right? So I just, you know, being transparent about it and tackling it and acknowledging that there's an issue, I think is very important.
I think there's an absolutely brilliant one. So Just Digital People, a recruitment agency in Australia, random fact, as opposed to me being biased. And they're slightly insane. So they're a bit like chalk and cheese or Vegemite or Marmite, as Audra and I would talk. You either love them or you hate them. But they have a really, really shocking review on Facebook, 1-star. But what's even funnier was the girl then goes back and writes a comment on her original one saying, I stand corrected. I have now met them and they are not like I thought. And she's now like, it's now fine. And I think it's really brave they've left it there as well, because I'm sure there was probably a way. Oh, well, actually, because you can go and turn reviews off altogether, which would hide them all. But they've actually bravely left it there. And they're really active on Facebook. So, but people don't think about Facebook reviews or Google Map reviews is the other place I've seen.
Oh, sure.
People just don't even think. And it's like, you know, I was looking for horse riding lessons and there was this, don't work at those stables. They're really shit. They underpaid me, blah, blah, blah. Like, Okay, then.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more, but that's awesome. She went back and said, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I just thought good for them for leaving it there. And the other one I know I've spoken about before, so some of our regulars will heard, but Reward Gateway over here, Glenn Elliott, the CEO, writes back to every single Glassdoor review within 24 hours because he knows that if he writes, hi, it's Glenn here, they know who it is. Yeah. And he will full blown, he'll write like quite long. He takes it really, really seriously.
Yeah, I think doesn't one of the CEOs, is it Zillow? Was some other CEO? I can't remember the name of the company. I think he tweets like every Friday, like time to do my Glassdoor reviews, and he responds directly to them as well.
I thought the CEO of Zillow was also at some point the CEO of Glassdoor. I could be wrong.
Do you know, I have to ask Kay Callison works at Zillow.
Yeah, I can't remember, but it was someone. It was a CEO, and before I insert foot and mouth, I'll stop. But someone does that.
But that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I think more commonly CEOs don't even know what Glassdoor is.
Yeah,
it's just not there yet. I think it's changing though.
Yeah, no,
it's crazy because it's big. It's not small.
Yeah,
but also now with the Google Jobs things, it's coming up even higher. So there's something going on there.
Yeah, I can't wait to check that out. I haven't had time to look at it, but I can't wait to look at it.
It's only in the US. I mean, we still haven't got Facebook jobs here, but mind you, I personally think that's a waste of space. But go, Audra. You look like Bewitched just then. Oh, see, I'm showing my age.
I know Bewitched.
No, I know Bewitched. I know Bewitched. Yeah, do you know Duran Duran, right? You know who Duran Duran? Okay, good. Because when people don't know who Duran Duran is, we got problems.
I have a question.
Yes.
So a lot of what we're talking about now is, so say like 200 people apply for your job, but we're talking about those 3 or 4 or 5 that make it into the interview process. What about those 170 or whatever that just aren't going to even make it that far? All they get from most ATSs is an email that says, sorry, this position's been filled. We'll consider you and blah, blah, blah. Do you think there's any better way?
In the bin?
I don't know. You know, that's a problem that I don't know how we can solve. I'm sure that there's other solutions out there, but I see that, when you post a job through a recruitment marketing platform, right, and you're not able to get the responses back because you get so many candidates, right? So you have an automatically generated response saying, we'll be in touch if there's a fit. I hate that. Because I've gotten those before. How do you tackle those? I mean, again, I'm so old school that I email every candidate individually, and it takes up a lot of time. But I do so the candidates that I'm
sorry, that was a really bad laugh at what Laura just wrote.
No, I didn't look
badly timed. I shouldn't have read that while you were speaking.
I'll get to that in a second. But I when I go out sourcing, I go and I actually email every single candidate individually, and I write down something about them. Like, I noticed that you work at blah blah blah. Maybe it's not the right time to make a change from this company, for this type of position. And I'll tell you something, and especially with my client in Greece, who I told him to be on here. I don't know if he's going to be watching this, but I get emails from people now. His name is George.
There isn't a George.
George with a long last name.
Casey has just reappeared.
No.
Maybe he's watching on Facebook.
Maybe he's watching. I think, he might be watching on Facebook. But I told him, the responses that I get from candidates that I reach out to saying we've heard such amazing things about this company, and wow, and thank you, and this and that, we're not interested in a move at this time, but maybe in the future, that feedback I think stems from the personalization, right? Now, I can't email if I've got 500 people that are coming into Clinch, for example, and I can't respond to all of them, generating an automatic message that's as close to as personal as possible, I think would probably be the best solution, unless anybody knows of a solution out there that can do something better or different. And I've had this conversation with other people before, but there's not enough time to write a personalized message to every single person who's applied, right? And it sucks.
So I think there's multiple points to that, because I agree, there isn't time, but you're caught if you don't. Yeah. Somebody needs to offer a solution. But then I wonder, Clinch does this with mail merge tools.
Okay, and I've talked to Shane about that, Casey, and that's what I want to do, because you got so many people coming in, right? And then you want to make sure that you message them, but you want to be personal about it, right? So, Casey, call me when you're done. Call me when we're done.
Even just that acknowledgement of, if I was in your shoes, I'd want to hear as well. And we know that you took time to do this, and we appreciate that time.
Yes.
We have been inundated. We're doing everything that we can. I think sometimes it's just using that you word and just being appreciating the time they've taken, because not everyone just goes bang and sticks it in. A lot of people do change the wording on their resume, or bring out a particular example, or write a cover note, or whatever it might be. Yeah. And it's such a horrible time looking for a job as well.
Yeah.
But I also go back to we're obviously doing something a little bit wrong if we're getting 500 applications.
Well, 500.
Or even 200. I just wonder what are we doing to get so many?
Any big company, though, gets crazy amounts of applications.
Yeah.
A role, or just in general?
Both. Definitely, if you have especially an executive assistant role, you're just going to get so many. It's very hard.
If you have multiple postings, if you have multiple postings, and you're going to get spammed a lot too. So, taking the time to filter through those resumes is, it takes a lot of time. But you're right. I think
just flipping it around the other way for a second. So I'm just thinking of 2 people I know currently job hunting. How do you feel if people circumnavigate them? They, instead of just being one of the 500, they actually get to you some other way. They send
That's
you a Facebook
Yes,
Messenger.
yes. There's people who, if you don't get a response, they'll find you a different way. And those are the people that I want to talk to, right?
Yeah.
I posted,
Okay, cool.
Yes, I did. I posted.
This is candidate fear out there, right? We can't do that. Oh my God, they won't like it. Why not?
Yes. I posted, I think I posted something on LinkedIn the other day for a client, looking to hire some folks, and just put a little, little blurb out there. And someone messaged me on LinkedIn, and I didn't get to him in time. I think 24 hours passed, right? And I didn't see my LinkedIn message. And so my client came to me and said, "Oh, FYI, we spoke with, candidate, whatever his name was, and we're having him come in tomorrow to meet with the rest of the team. He looks great. We found he reached out from your LinkedIn post." Right. So the fact that he messaged me on LinkedIn, I didn't get to him in time, but then he went and checked out the company and messaged the founder, and the founder said, "Great, let's schedule a call." And so, I mean, I was a little pissed off, and because I went back to my client and I was like, "Damn it, you guys beat me to it." Right. But then I was like, 24 hours. Right.
Yeah. But 24 hours with someone that sits on LinkedIn all day. That's quite funny.
Yeah. But you know what?
Who are the people using it? Recruiters.
But he went in and I mean, he went straight to that. He fearless, right? So he wanted the job, and he went straight to the source, and he did that.
That's so cool.
I get that. Like, if I apply to a job, I'll try to follow up. It's funny because Google, I have a friend who works at Google, and I wanted to get a job there a couple of years ago, and he claims that no matter what, you're never going to get an automated response. You'll get someone real reaching out to you. So he submits my resume via their referral portal, right? And then like 24 hours later, I get the automatic response.
You send it over. Okay, so I just want to say this so we get it on the recording, because we stick this on YouTube as well. So Laura Hepker has said xCloud from Symphony Talent has a solution for doing this too. Ooh. So talking about the mail merging in the auto responses. So I think if you do that and get the wording right, that would work.
One thing I've seen too is company, it's fairly small, called Career Arc. They will, if you sign up with them, they'll automatically send all those people like a free access to this online like career improvement tool. So it tells you like you can do surveys about yourself to learn more about yourself, more about the different kinds of companies you want, just for matching. So it does it's pretty neat. So everyone gets that.
That's a really cool idea for like when you think about the going above and beyond. And how many people are they going to tell? Like, oh, wow, I went into the interview process with X and they did this.
Yeah.
They really wanted to help me.
Yeah. Cool. I think sometimes people just think like it's just too much work, right? It's just too much work. But to create an automated message is not really too much work.
Most people just have them. So it's just like use it.
But I just, again, you just got to think about the power of social media and the amplification process. Back in the day, we still told 20 as opposed to the 2 when we had a good experience and it got passed on. But, now it's like really getting passed on.
Yeah.
I mean, how mad is the existence of this? So thank you, Rahul, for saying this is a brilliant session. It's like, how did we get in contact? All of us was ultimately for me sharing my blog via Twitter that got me to SourceCon that I met Ange. Audra and I met via Twitter. And again, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
All of the connections. So
I remember you had posted a picture when you were in Greece with this little guy, and I was like, wow, they serve little orange men at the cups in Greece. Like, oh wow, that's great. And then I did a little research, and then I sat behind you at SourceCon. Yeah. And I tweeted to you, and I was like, I'm right behind you, and you're like, nope, you're not. On the left or the right, because there was a gentleman right behind you.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. That was really cool. But again, it all came from the whole, like all of mine has literally come from social media, all of it. And I'll get stuff, and I'm not saying this to blow my own trumpet, much as it sounds great. I'm more saying it for it actually shocked me that I'm speaking at a conference later in the year in Czech Republic, and someone said, oh my God, I cannot wait to meet you. I've read all your stuff. And you're just going, wow, my stuff hits the Czech Republic. That's so cool. Because I don't know, I just stick it out on Twitter and off it goes. And, you don't think about it, but the reach that we all have. Looking at Be Human Men right in front of me. Always remind me. See, I want to see photos of these Be Human Men out on the internet. That's what I really want.
All right, I'll take a picture. I'll do a selfie. I'll post it.
Yeah, currently I'm a bit worried. I'm just sharing too much cleavage.
No, you're good. But to
I have my Be Human sticker actually right there in front of me on the bottom of my computer thing.
There you go. I just took a selfie. I'll post it with a little guy.
I know. We need more of that. Because this whole thing, all of the candidate experience, all of our sourcing, all of our everything. Actually, I was talking to another client and he wanted me to take all the human bit out of my sourcing training. And I'm just going,
why?
I'm really not going to do that, because you're just you're not getting it. If you're you're already telling me that candidates aren't responding, and I know damn well it will be whatever the outreach wording is. I hate that word, sorry. But I know that, and I'm not taking that out.
I mean, think about it to what Audra's point was earlier when she said about applying, right? You know, have the CEO go in and apply for the job. Yeah. Take a walk in their shoes, right? I think we all talk about the same things in the industry, but we never really take the time to feel what it's like on the other side, right? On the recruiter outreach. Like if I was looking for a job right now and I was interviewing, what would I want? You know, I want to be treated nice. I want to have transparency in the process and know exactly where I'm going to be going. So if you reverse the roles just for a minute, then you figure, well, that's all you have to do is just do that, right? I'm not going to take my time to apply to a job that's got 400 questions or, you know, whatever the case may be. And, you know, if I show up and if I show up and the hiring manager's not there, you know, like that's going to, I've had that happen. Like how can that happen? How can that
Beanie's
happen?
in the house. Chris Raw. If you haven't met Chris Raw yet, you so got to meet Chris Raw. Let's bring Chris Raw to Greece. He can come and sit on our island with us. It's not so far for him. He's on the ways.
Where's Chris?
London,
oh, there you go. Okay.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Sorry, I just saw that. Got all excited.
No, that's okay. Let's do it.
No, you know, you're absolutely right. And then you take somebody like my sister, bless her cotton socks. She ran her own business for 20 years. Event management. She can freaking do anything. Like that woman is unbelievably talented. And what happens? Do you have a degree? No. Fail.
Yeah.
She can't even get like an administrator job. And she's just going, it's ridiculous. So, because I'm teaching her how to circumnavigate. But the fear of going around, I still think there's still a bit of that going on. Because we're probably way ahead of the curve when it comes to, we'd happily go around and ring CEOs and all that kind of stuff. But what your guy did, that's unusual.
Like, is it true, like for real these days, that if a candidate doesn't match the job description, like every single point, that they're not going to get the job? Like that drives me crazy.
No, but in the application, you know, when there's a tick box that says, and then they knock you back.
She should lie.
She's got 20
Tell her to lie next time.
Just to get through.
Just to get through and then show herself, right? Like that drives me crazy. How can you have all this crazy experience and then you don't have a degree and then you can't get the job? Like we need someone from a highly accredited university. Okay, I get it. But sometimes that, that just doesn't work, you know? Yeah. That's
you know, if you're my orthopedic surgeon, I'm kind of going to care.
Okay,
but, you know, if you're a recruiter, I'm not going to care. Like, you know, do you have empathy and some intelligence and emotional intelligence and all of that?
Exactly.
We've got new people here, Mr. Andrew.
Ooh. Hi, Andrew.
Andrew. An application should be swipe right activity. Is swipe right to the positive or is that a negative? You're getting rid of them. Sorry, I don't actually know what that means.
It's that easy.
That's that app, isn't it?
Tinder. Yeah.
I'm glad you know what he's talking about.
Well, no, I've heard of it. I'm not on it.
No way I feel that.
But you know, Ladders used to do that. I participated in a study a couple years ago. Ladders used to do that where you used to swipe left or swipe right for the resume.
Yeah. So, Andrew, I have a degree in marketing from 20 years ago. It's wildly valid now. Insert sarcasm. I know, right?
Hey, listen.
Degrees. So Chris Raw, Ernst & Young removed degree classification. Wow, from entry criteria as there's no evidence university equals success.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Wow,
I agree.
You
know what? I have a very close friend who has been working for Steve Madden for the past 20 years. She's Steve Madden's right hand woman. She finished high school and then went to New York because she wanted to be in the shoe business, and now she is his right hand man and has never. She didn't finish school. My brother never finished school, and he's got a restaurant. You know, so it's I don't think
I didn't go to university. I finished high school, and that was it.
Yeah,
I started uni, was doing something stupid, didn't know what I wanted to do at 19 or 17 or whatever I was, left.
Yeah.
Started working.
And I think if there's a teachable skill, right? Like if you think about it, the people that we work with are the people that we spend most of our time with, whether it's in an office or remotely or whatever, right? So if that fit's not there, if you don't like each other and that culture fit's not there, then who cares? I mean, yeah, there's some skills that are not teachable, but for the most part, I think if the culture fits and something can be learned, I'd rather work with someone like that, right? I want to like the people that I work with, not the guy who's just super smart, but can't have a conversation with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That can mess with the culture of the company.
I bet Tenable you need to have degrees.
It totally depends on what position. But I wanted to say that also has to do with like gender diversity, where there's lots of research that if that the women will only apply if they fit like 100%. So if you say a degree and they don't have one, that they might not apply, where a guy will. So that also can, it's interesting when you're writing job descriptions about that.
Oh, I'm so excited, slightly off topic, but you said the diversity word. One of my speakers at the next Disrupt HR is brown, which means she will call herself brown because she's of Indian descent. And she got called out at my very first Disrupt HR. Someone said, like, look at the diversity in the room. There's only 3 brown people. And she died inside a little bit. And what she's saying is, am I getting the job because I'm a brown female or because I can do the job? And she's actually going to talk about that, like actually flipping it on its head. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Sorry, complete change of subject there. Sorry, sad to be done. But Audra, reason out. There's so much going on down there. I can't keep up.
Oh my God, I know. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, Chris, the retail stuff, totally, right? Like, let's just.
What is it saying? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Casey, most companies still won't look at non-degreed folks.
I know.
I'm changing that. Oh, I don't have one, so I'm doing all right. Must be because it's my own business.
We changed a lot of our job descriptions to say must have and preferred too. Yeah. So we put the degree for a lot of them when we can into preferred.
I mean, if you must have Java development skills because the job is a Java developer, I get that, right? But, you know, highly accredited university, you know, to become a Java developer when you've got 15 years of experience working at Facebook or Google, like that just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah,
of course.
German.
I'm glad I know. I knew what he meant because I've heard the word before, but it was like, I hope Chris puts a subtitle for
German for exactly. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to throw in a Greek word now.
I can't remember how to pronounce it. It's so annoying. It's gone out of my head. Never mind.
Janelle.
I can't remember. It's gone out of my head. We're running out of time. How can there only be 3 minutes left?
Oh,
how did that happen? I'm under an NDA, so can't actually say which particular company that we all know was talking to me about rearranging profiles, but they were going to bring education really visible. And I'm going, I get that for grads, but I don't get that for people who've got 10 years experience or 12, because so many of us have a degree in something and then end up in a different direction altogether. And I think plus it would increase a whole load of bias, because instead of reading the blurb and then getting to their education and seeing what school or university they were at, you'd rule them out straight away. It was quite interesting. Oh, Jim's back just as we're finishing. Well done, Mr. Stroud.
Well, see, now that he's here, we're going to stay on for another hour.
Yeah. We'll just bring him on. Are you dressed, Jim? Got your makeup on?
No shoes.
Bring him on. So,
not really.
Goodness. It goes
so, Angie,
so fast.
Will you be at the next SourceCon?
I will be at the next SourceCon. I will be speaking at LinkedIn Talent Connect in October.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I'm excited. And I'll be speaking at SourceCon in the spring. Oh, we're going to be at HireConf in September. HireConf. Yep. Yeah, Katrina, you got to come in.
Well, not unless I'm asked, no. So I'm Airy Full, and I've got one in Dallas as well, but I'm not at SourceCon. Not the next one. So, cool.
Well,
next week, we have Mr. Donovan is on next week. And you said he's bringing a guest, and I can't remember who you said because I haven't updated it yet, Audra. Who did you say?
Oh, Abby. You know Abby Cheeseman.
Oh, yeah. Love Abby.
For some reason, Casey didn't want to come on solo.
Casey, what's wrong with you? I'm going to be at Abby's office on Monday.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That'd be fun. We're talking about video. And there's like so much
no relation to Downtown Abbey. Abby from Skill Scout.
Yeah, no, that looks really cool as well. Right. Out of time. I can't believe this has happened so fast.
God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun. Let's do it again.
And I've got all of my questions written down. as well. Customer service and all that, and candidate experience, amazing. So thank you. So many
We'll let
insights.
the dogs out.
Yeah, there's
That's
definitely a dog
awesome.
barking, and that's not mine. They're out. Oh yeah,
Yes.
SRSC in January. Audra and I are there, of course.
Yeah.
Forgot about
Ooh,
that.
in August. Maybe I'll have to go to that one. No, we're going to
No,
Greece.
we're Jan. We do Jan. We have
Oh,
a big piss
okay,
up
I'll do
reunion
Jan.
every Jan in San Francisco.
I'll do
I'll send
January.
you too.
Yeah,
Yeah, send it to me, Audra. Okay, cool.
cool. And I've got
Ladies,
some
thank
stuff to
you.
send
It was
as
such
well.
an honor.
Oh,
It's so much fun. Thank you so
no,
much.
thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.